More than 9 million people in the U.S. have their concealed carry permit, and you get some training when you start out. But what if you had a chance to spend the whole day at the range with a top trainer, learning how to shoot your gun and what's really involved with concealed carry? That's what we're doing today on Gun Talk. With a range reserved for the whole day and a bunch of guns to try out, Gun Talk brought in top trainer Chris Cerino to teach concealed carry to a married couple. Brandon Hutchenson and Jennifer Hutchenson.
Jennifer's a realtor, so in an ideal world, she would always be in million-dollar houses with upstanding clientele. But there's a lot of times that she's going into less than desirable neighborhoods, and I'm stuck going with her as protection or just to keep a watch out, and I'm not comfortable with her going there. So I think it's a great idea for her to carry for her own protection.
I've had a few instances where just the person kind of, didn't make me feel very comfortable, or like I said, the home itself, the area that it may be in, it's been vacant for a long time, so it makes me a little nervous. Just, you never know.
Well, we are going to fire a variety of different guns today. And Brandon, for you, some of this stuff may be a little bit basic, but for Jennifer's sake, we're going to start off small and mild with 22s, and we'll work our way up into these 9mm pistols. One of the really important things is to remember safety. And the 4 firearm safety rules are, number 1, treat all these guns as if they're loaded all the time. Don't point them at anything you don't intend to shoot, kill, or destroy. Keep your finger off the trigger and outside the trigger guard until you've made a conscious decision to shoot that gun. And then last one is always to be aware of your target, your backstop, and beyond.
What I'm hoping to get out of this is more gun knowledge and being more comfortable with the gun.
I do shoot a lot, but I've never had a formal training. So I'm really looking forward to what I can take from him and his knowledge.
My goal is to be better than my husband.
We're going to get down there, we're going to look at a bunch of different pistols, but we're not going to shoot them all at once. We're going to start off with the 22s. And we're not just going to start off with 22s and semi-auto, we're going to start off with the old 22 revolver. We're going to use these 2 center targets to start. Go ahead and load 9 rounds in there, okay? And take aim on your targets. There you go, watch those sights and keep squeezing. A little bit of flinching with you because we can see that, a little bit of anticipation. Everybody has a little bit of anticipation. It's not a huge deal. After firing the Ruger LCR revolvers in 22 caliber, we're moving on to the Smith & Wesson M&P 22s, a semi-automatic pistol which is going to mimic pretty much what almost everybody carries every day. So we've prepared some magazines. You have those already.
Yes.
So here's your pistols. Seat it, charge it, pull back and let it go. There you go. Your group ended up pretty much exactly where we placed the sights when I did the plastic sights on here, correct?
Correct.
And yours is still low of center. Remember, it's really hard to hit the center of the target if you don't cover it up. So you got to bring that sight picture up. So what I tell people all the time is when I take those sights, and I've got the little ones here again in my pocket, I tell people, I said, if you want to hit it, you got to cover it. So I always start by holding the sights high, because if you stare at the center and hold the sights down here, it's always going to be low. So I tell people to hold up here and cover what you want to hit. The problem is it's really hard to see your bullet holes with that big ugly gun in the way, so we lower it all the time to see how it's going, and we end up shooting low because of it.
Yeah.
Well, very good job. You guys ready to try something new?
Ready.
Jennifer, you've got the Ruger LCR in 38. And Brandon, you've got the Smith & Wesson Bodyguard in 38. If we've been working on our fundamentals correctly and holding the guns right, shouldn't be much difference.
Right.
So go ahead, let's load up, and let's work through 5 rounds on target. Squeeze the trigger right through. Just keep squeezing. Don't worry about the recoil. So listen up, a couple of things. Obviously, a big difference in recoil.
Yes.
Not painful, not terrible, but different, correct? Mm-hmm. So if you're not holding the gun right, and if you're not holding it firmly and starting to manage recoil at the grip, the gun jumps around a little bit more.
Definitely different. Big transition going between the 22 to the 38.
Right. Nothing wrong with starting off with a 22. We've got to practice those fundamentals with the 22 like we mean it. so that when we get to the larger calibers, we're doing better off. So something that's different with a revolver is your trigger finger placement. If you're using the pad of your finger like you use with your semi-auto pistol, it's gonna probably push that gun away from your hand. So as you push that trigger with the pad, because that's a very heavy double action trigger. So there's a big change for me when I grab a revolver and I put my finger in, I come way in because my idea is to use more muscle on that trigger, and I need it for that in order to pull those shots.